Alrighty. Alright, let's see. Alright, stream is up. Let's put this stuff in the Discord for all the dudes. Wait for some people to join. Hopefully Kenzie shows up since he is requesting these streams. Put some in other chats, see what's up. Advertise stream. Let's see if anyone's hopped in. Yo, what's up, Mr. Yoshi Live? How we doing? I'm gonna start mapping stuff in a second. I'm gonna wait for some people to pop in, see what's going on. Hello, hello. Got a couple people. Welcome, welcome. I'm actually gonna pop over to the mapping now, since we got a couple people here. Just 1 second. Alrighty. So, if this is your first time on one of my development streams, then I'm gonna just run you through how this goes. I'm going to be working on my Iridium, Pokemon Iridium game. If you have not heard about what that is, basically, this is a game that is a national dex hack. So let me actually just pull up some of the docs real quick. So we have our own documentation, which is pretty sick, made by Phoenix, guy in our community. And yeah, it's like interactive. You can like click on Pokemon, get like base stats. It's got you can show the encounters, show the trainers. You can go to like this little description of what it is. I'm gonna just paste this thing in chat if you guys want to take a look at it. So really cool stuff going on. A lot of really cool features that we've got happening right now. So a couple features. Actually, let me pull up the game. All right, I think my stream crashed. I'm back though. Sorry about that, y'all. Yeah. So real quick, I'm gonna get into a little bit of what I've done in Iridium already, because that's like some really cool stuff, a lot of really cool features. And then I'm gonna get right into some mapping. We're gonna be trying to map a mountainous region, because it's the last thing we need for the first split of the game. But before we do that, I actually want to like just show a little intro to the game. Like I'm gonna play a little bit of it just to like show what we've been doing for a little bit. So give me 1 second. Let me pull that up. Yeah, you guys can ask any questions you have and stuff. I'm gonna be here for hour or two, so we're gonna have a great time. Let me pull up my Dismumi. Also, I dropped a link in chat for the docs that are current for this game, so you can take a look at those if you want. Alright, so let me swap over to this. Alright, so I got Dismumi up right now, and you guys gotta let me know if like this gets too loud or anything, because I think the sound is adjusted. So obviously a lot of stuff is still in development right now. I don't have like a lot of the scripting done, but a lot of the maps are in. This stuff, intro, this stuff's kind of just like still left over from Mythic Silver, because I'm actually building this off of Mythic Silver, like world building wise and script wise, since I did a lot of preliminary stuff for that. We're not gonna have Zacian as a starter, don't worry, it's not like Mythic Silver, but yeah, we're also changing that to Professor Rowan. As you can tell, the text says that. Alright, so a couple of the sprites are also not in yet, but you'll notice we actually do have a different male protagonist sprite. His name is Jasper, which is kind of cool. I'm just gonna use my normal name for stuff. Also, yeah, guys, let me know if it gets too loud or it's too quiet, because there's custom music in this. Alright, so anyway, our main character is going to be in a household with a dad who's not really, like, very present. He's just watching TV. And the story starts basically by dad telling us to go out to a White Forest, which is a place from Gen 5. It says, go get some groceries, don't forget the Poke-Cola. Tells us to wear our shoes. Yo, what's up? We got one of our Iridium developers in chat. Welcome, welcome. This is a little taste of what people have been doing. Also, really cool thing here. I want to zoom in my face for this. Very cool thing. We have a whole team of developers working on this, and we have like 800 plus learn sets to do, and in a little over a month we've done 700 of them, which is crazy. So like, actually huge shout out to all you guys. You've been like popping off, like for real. So anyway, starts on just another Thursday morning, and I've always told myself that good things happen on Thursdays. Maybe today is the day. So level cap is set to 5. Hard level caps in this game, so you actually can't go past the you can't go past those levels, regardless if you're using rare candies or anything else. So this is the starting town. It's called Celestia Village, and our rival is going to be Iris. So it's the protagonist's birthday. It's 15th birthday, so instead of turning 10, you're turning 15 in this game. That's when you're getting your first Pokemon. Professor Rowan sent you a message, but Dad did not let us see the message. I'll get a question in chat. How long do you think it'll take for a person to beat the game? It really depends. There's going to be 2 versions. There's going to be both the Elite version and the casual version. So Elite's going to be like similar to Pokemon Run and Bun or Emerald Kaiser level difficulty. So if you're like Nuzlocking it, it might take you a while. But casual, I don't really have a great estimate on time. It's going to be about twice as long as Mythic Silver. It has 2 regions. Yeah, so another thing, chat, yeah, the Gen 5 tile set is like, it's hopefully going to be the appeal to this game. So yeah, we're going to be using HG Engine for this, which lets us do the whole Dex expansion. It's how we're getting all these extra Pokemon in with all their sprites, otherwise it wouldn't really be possible. But yeah, I'll give you a quick rundown of the town. So we got this. I am also learning how to do animated textures, which is how we're getting these petals in here. Shout out to Silas as well as I think Senate for a lot of their work on different assets, and a lot of the ROM hacking community just shares a bunch of stuff. So yeah, so this is the starting town. We have your house. We have we actually have some hidden items in this town. Don't tell anyone. We can heal, but actually just says less work for me because you don't have a Pokemon yet. If you try to leave, these guys tell you you can't leave. There's a plane, and the plane is actually how we're dealing with HMs in this game. So instead of using Fly and having to have a Fly Pokemon on you all the time, you can simply just click on these planes. Obviously, like, we're not far enough in the game yet for the plane to be usable yet, so it just says come back later. Alright, so where I get the tile set for the indoor areas, I actually ripped these indoors straight from Black 2. So I'll just save while I'm talking here. These are straight up just taken from Black 2. All the buildings are exported using CTR map as well as Spikey's DS map editor, because for some reason it exports Gen 5 tiles really well, and is way more faithful to the map textures than CTR map is. CTR map exports buildings really weirdly sometimes, so I don't recommend it. Shiny odds for this game is going to be, I think, 1 in 512, so it's the same as the Driano game. Alright, anyway, so Celestia Village, the land of blissful nothing. So we are literally starting in, like, the middle of nowhere. So anyway, as we go in here, this is our starter select. So Iris is like, I've never been in this lab before, which you should be already kind of suspicious about because, like, you've been living here for 15 years with your best friend and you've never been invited into the lab. A little suspicious, but we'll get into that a little bit later. I'm probably going to keep the Black 2 tile set, yeah. Alright. And instantly greeted by Rowlet. Rowlet is very excited to see you. You better choose Rowlet or he'll be very sad. What an adorable little Rowlet. Anyway, we need to go see the professor. Alright, so it's your birthday, and Iris actually is a little bit older than us in this game, so this takes place in, like, the future after some of the Gen 5 stuff that happens, because characters need to be a little bit older to go out on this adventure. Anyway, she waited for us to be 15 until you got your first starter. Of course, she chooses Axio, because why not? And so we get a choice from 24 Pokemon, and they're scattered throughout the lab here. And you can, like, talk to them and stuff, and it'll ask you, like, hey, you want Cyndaquil? And it plays their little sound, shows their picture, and all these starters have their sprites in the game and everything, so that's pretty neat. This person says, recommends you fire types, but also, quick look, we have animated textures on the wall, which is very cool. That took quite a long time to get to work. Fun fact about this building here that you see that we're in is actually its own, like, building entity. So if you know anything about ROM hacking, it's not actually a map, it's a building with a bunch of buildings in it. So some buildingception. The reason for that is the way Gen 4 handles animated textures. It's the same if you use a building as it is in Gen 5, but if you try using a map texture, it's formatted differently, and it, like, does some really weird stuff. So anyway, that's my workaround. So can't choose Axie, but we can choose anyone else. Just for this, I'm going to choose something new that's not just Gen 1 through 4. Mudkip's tiny? Yeah, Mudkip's a little small over here. Let me see if it turns around, it looks a little bigger. Yeah, no, he's just small. I think it might be also just, like, how deep he is in the background. Anyway, I'll choose Grookey for now. Unfortunately, this thing does not get Grassy Surge right now, because Grassy Surge would be a little OP for the Elite mode, but I think for casual mode, I'll probably allow hidden abilities. I think I will skip nicknaming it for now. Alright, so an excellent choice. I'll hope you and that Pokemon will become good friends on your journey. So this has a lot of vanilla feel to it. You're going on a journey. It's not like the end of the world is happening, like Mythic Silver or Garbage Gold. This is kind of a vanilla feel game that is totally separate. That's the kind of the goal of this game. It says, I must also ask you to seek out as many Pokemon as you can. Here you'll need this Pokédex, so it gives you the Pokédex. Now I should warn you youths about dangers around here. Gotten wind from other professors that there have been some evil gangs around. And so this is alluding to Team Plasma and Team Galactic, which are kind of fulfilling the role of the two evil teams, sort of like in Emerald where you have Plasma and Magma. Or sorry, Aqua and Magma. They're up to something nefarious, but I don't know what yet. And Iris says, I'm so excited. Let's have our first battle outside. And I am going to save now that I have my starter. You still have your Swampert from Ruby, that's crazy. Yeah. I have a lot of really old Pokemon that are still my Pokemon home from, like, I I think 2011 or something. I have like an event Suicune, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so we go outside, and immediately Iris greets us, and it is time to battle. So I don't have Iris's music in yet, but I do have the sprites in. Also, that is Jasper's back sprite. Really cool. My wife has been actually doing a lot of the spriting for this, so shout out to her. Yeah, we got Branch Poke. Unfortunately, some of these moves don't have animations yet, but I will be working on those in the future. The biggest thing right now is getting like the first chunk of the game kind of like scripted and ready to go. So I think we should just be able to beat this Axew pretty easily since we have a level advantage. Hopefully I don't lose the first one. Also, the music is straight from Platinum. I really hate Heart Gold and Soul Silver sound font music in general. I don't think it's very good. And so I've been doing a lot of music replacement with Gen 5 and Gen 4 stuff, in addition to the Mystery Dungeon stuff I normally do. Alright, so we beat Iris, and he says, I think we should collect the 6 gym badges in the Iridium region. So Iridium region, which it's just a placeholder name for now, is going to have only 6 gyms, and there's going to be another region after that that is 8. And so she says it lets you travel to another region with 8 more gyms. So 2 custom regions. Anyway, so Steven comes over us and says, Sauce, battle me. And this does have the music. Obviously, I have to build him like a stupidly low level. Otherwise, like, you just can't beat it. Because it's a steel type. Also, it doesn't have clear body, so you can lower its defenses. Custom abilities in HG Engine are super nice. And you'll notice that any new move just has Hone Claws animation as a placeholder for now. But I did over 50 animations for Mythic Silver, doing all like the legendary moves. So doing the small little animations is going to be a lot easier because there's going to be so many less particles flying around the screen. So anyway, Steven says we show some promise, and he gives us the infinite candy. So this is one of the things I wanted to showcase in this game. We have infinite rare candies, and they're also level cap candies. So they automatically bring the Pokemon to the level cap, which is like a new feature that Mixzone, who is one of the Iridium developers, made. He's been doing a lot of the custom HG Engine coding, which is like super awesome. We also get a bunch of Great Balls, Pokeballs, and Extra Pals, all that good stuff that you want in the beginning. And yes, we will have Megas in the game, probably more so in the casual version than the Elite version, but there will be definitely Megas. And there will be Mega Stones, so it's not just separate Pokemon, you'll actually be able to Mega Evolve once per battle. Okay, so Iris leaves, Steven leaves, and yeah, we got our Grookey. You can also check your stats, obviously, the normal way, but if you press L or R, you can check your EVs and IVs. You'll notice that we don't have any EVs because they've been removed from the game to help balancing things, but you can obtain different vitamins later on. And you also have the different coloration showing what's your plus or minus nature, and we have pretty decent HP and speedy IVs. So a lot of really cool modernizing features are going to be in this game that are just native to HG Engine. Also, we have a cool dynamic camera here. So there's water here. We can get our first encounter. So the encounters you can find on the docs that I posted in chat. There's a lot of different stuff you can find here. I can actually pull them up real quick just to show you the nature of this. So, hide the trainers for a second. So, you zoom in. So we got a bunch of like rats and birds and stuff. It's gonna feel very similar to like a vanilla game, but there's gonna be Pokemon from across all regions. And the point of this is we're gonna have like a national dex hack. So we got the Zigzagoon encounter here. And everything here is like level 1 and 2, so if you crit it, you do kill it. But all the catch rates have been standardized to about like 70, 60-ish% catch rate at full HP. So you do have to get them down to like yellow HP, but also you won't get stuck against like these stupidly, obnoxiously hard to catch Pokemon. So it's a quality of life and balancing type thing. And in the beginning of this game, you can actually talk to Nurse Joy, who is here and will heal your Pokemon rather quickly. Okay. And so there's a bunch of different ways we can go here. We can take a left out of here. There's also some hints and foreshadowing to some things that are going to happen in the game. A big part of this game is that you're going to be able to choose which evil team to join. In fact, you're forced to choose between Team Plasma or Team Galactic. And basically, there's also something I'm not going to spoil for late game that I have a very cool idea for a plot arc, but there's a lot of hints dropped at the beginning of the game as to like what the true nature of like the villains of this game are looking for. And it says Professor Rowan's been studying Pokemon evolution for 20 years. It's always struck me as weird that this lab is in the middle of nowhere. And like this is called literally the land of blissful nothing. So this is literally in the middle of nowhere. Alright, so anyway, you can also go north, which we'll go here first. This is Celestia Springs. This is really cool dynamic camera work here. You can see it's pretty fun mapping. And these are literally just ripped straight from the Johto region. We got someone meditating here. Can't hear us. So of course, if there's a waterfall, there's obviously going to be something behind the waterfall. Let's just grab our encounter first. You can grab a number of things here. So in Celestia Springs, you can get a bunch of bug and poison and some grass types. So we get Nidoran. We've gotten almost none of the new gen Pokemon yet, which is kind of funny. And so you can see, like, if they're full health, you're probably not going to catch it, but if you hit it like once, you'll probably be okay. Let's try it again. I think I should be able to catch this with just a Pokeball. Almost. So, I also do give some Great Balls at the beginning, just so you're not stuck, like, chucking endless Pokeballs at stuff. Well, I'm glad you like the story. It's gonna be all about, like, choice for the player, so it will have a branching story, depending on, like, which side you choose, Galactic or Plasma. So anyway, you can walk around this little spring here, but you can also walk through the waterfall, and it's actually a cave called King's Cavern. So this is a pretty cool area that has a bunch of like fairy and like cave dwelling Pokemon. For now, I'm just gonna repel so that we don't run into anything. So yeah, this texture pack was made by Silas. He is a fantastic modeler and mapper. Oh, I also wanted to show off the level cap candy. That's the other thing I wanted to show off here. So if we use the infinite candy on any of our smaller Pokemon, like a Zigzagoon, you'll notice it jumps straight to level 5 and skips everything in between. So you're not mashing A on rare candies for like hours. That was one thing that people did not like in Mythic Silver, is all the mashing you had to do for levels. I think Wacko had to like mash for a solid 20 minutes, leveling everything up. And so one thing that you'll notice is that when I use this rare candy, my Pokemon aren't learning new moves, and that could be kind of a bad thing. However, this was already thought of, and there's a keybind for a portable mover learner. So if you hit R, it brings up your Pokemon list, and you can click on something and instantly choose your moves to relearn. So this is sort of like Legends Arceus, where you have a bunch of moves you can learn, but you can pick from them anywhere in the wild, which is kind of nice. So I'll just do the same thing for Nidoran. I think it gets Poison Sting. Yeah, it gets Poison Sting. And obviously moves are like buffed, so like Poison Sting is 40 power instead of I think like 15 or whatever it normally is. The whole game is being rebalanced. We have tons of custom learn sets. Anyway, here's a cutscene. And this, my friends, is a repository of wealth. Jupiter says, so are we taking it? Mara says, I mean, it's not like we're just stealing it. It doesn't belong to anyone. It's just in a cave somewhere. We should take it. Cyrus says, no, my friends, we do not need this wealth in our possession. I show you this for a reason. And at this moment, the hero runs up. Saturn says, intruder, boss, shall I dispatch of this child? No, Saturn, stand down. Sauce is the name, right? You must be clever to have found us. Allow me to introduce you to my friends, all named after planets. So he steps forward. We do not intend on stealing any of these gems for ourselves. In fact, I came here to test our resolve before unlimited riches. So he's kind of doing like one of those like Gandhi things where he's like testing himself in the face of like human desire. Yo, Kenzie! I was hoping you'd show up to this stream. I did this for you, by the way. I was thinking of you when I went live. Not gonna lie. I was like, yo, Kenzie's been bugging me for a stream. We're gonna do some mapping later after I go through some of the Iridium And so he says, how can one rise to power without power over one's impulses, right? Self-mastery and all that stuff. So Mars says, clever boy, but I still want it. So much treasure. Cyrus, the level-headed one, calm yourself, Mars. Sauce, eventually we will obtain power. You should consider joining us. Something to keep in mind. And so this alludes to, oh, okay, they walk through me. That's cool. I'll have to make sure that doesn't happen. Decision's decision. So it's an allusion to later in the game when you're gonna have to actually choose, like, which team to join, right? So there's not really much you can do in this cave at the moment. I'm gonna add some stuff later to it, but the important part is that cutscene and seeing like the different, and seeing the introduction to the Team Galactic head honchos. So I really like this map. Let me get the rappel to wear off. And also, the music for this area is Waterfall Cave from Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time. So let me wear off the max rappel real quick, and we'll get our encounter for this area. I'm a big fan of the gems here. I just love the way they look. They're like very polygonal and it works well. So we can find psychic, fairy types in this cave. Hopefully we don't crit the routes. Okay, we did crit the routes. Cool. And it's got disarming voice, which is kind of nice. So, yeah, Kenzie, I did get this tile set from Silas, but I also modified it pretty heavily. I modified a lot of the vertex colors, a lot of the tiling and stuff, but it's based off Silas' tile set. Anyway, so you get our routes, and it's time to actually progress with this. So I'm just going to grab one encounter from each area. Also, King's Cavern encounters. This is the interactive documentation for everyone who's new and joining us. Phoenix, a guy who is also a Iridium dev, has a docs that are interactive for this. And so there's like Pokemon you can click on, like encounters, like, hey, this is Finneon, this is all the moves it learns, custom learn set, you can close it. There's the overview. I think I'm just gonna post this in chat again. So if anyone wants to look at the current docs, here they are in a YouTube chat. Avoid the XP crystals? Yeah, don't worry. I don't have any XP crystals in the game right now. Also, welcome Mixzone. Yeah, so Mixzone in chat is one of the guys who's actually done the move relearner. So I'm actually doing move relearner here, and you can see, like, if I click on Ralts, it's level 2. I can't do anything yet. He also did the cap candy, so thank you, Mixzone. You are actually popping off. So let's get Ralts up. I think it learns Confusion at level 5, so we don't even have to use the relearner. And we got Dismoomied, so this is not part of the ROM, this glitch. This is a Dismooming bug. If this ever happens to you when you're playing a Heart Gold or Soul Silver game, you can just save like I'm doing and do a quick reset. Super weird bug that the devs don't want to fix, but the way it is. Oh yeah, also custom title screen. If you haven't noticed, like the theme of this game is purple. Also, we have a portable PC thanks to Drayano, so if you just hit L anywhere, it lets you boot up the PC. I had to do a little bit of scripting stuff to get this thing to work because it was trying to freeze my game, but overall, yeah, you can access your PC anywhere. And if you're in a gauntlet, I'll obviously disable this, but really nice to have those portable features. Alright, so this is Stardust Hills, and it is still kind of in the wild area. You can grab our encounter here. We got ourselves a Scatterbug. Nice. I'm probably going to heal my team before I go to the first battle, because these battles are tough. Yo, thanks, Mixzone. Yeah, whenever you get the mirror battles done, let me know. Absolutely no rush. I'm gonna try and start testing that stuff. Ideally, okay, yeah, so someone in chat asked, can it be downloaded? So right now, no is the answer, because it's, like, the demo is not, like, even out. This is, like, a test, pre-demo alpha something or other. It's literally, like, one route of the game has been, like, scripted. It's mapped up to the first gym, but, like, not totally done. So once all the features are in, we're gonna put out, like, a little demo for people to play. So let me heal up real quick, and I will show you the first route, and there's a lot of really cool things still to be seen. Yeah. Also, if you haven't noticed, There's instant text printing, so you can mash through dialogue if you really hate dialogue. However, you probably will miss a lot of the game if you do that, just to be warned. But if you can always mash through it. Kenzie, oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I saw your pull requests, Mixon. Yeah. Oh yeah, I merged your changes, and oh, it's a heap memory issue. Okay, I see. Because it looks like you had the party resolving stuff fixed. Okay, Kenzie asks, where are the torches from, by the way? Those are actually native to Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I don't know what town they're from, but they're like just regular exterior buildings. And they have their own light, so when it's dark out, they still are lit, which is pretty cool. Okay, so let's give Scatterbug moves. We're gonna need these. So right now, I should have mentioned, we're playing the Elite version of the game, which is like the hardcore Nuzlocke version. So like, the first couple trainers aren't really like super hard, but I actually might lose to the root boss. Of course, there's gonna be a casual version, so if you're not into like super hardcore stuff, don't worry about it. Oh yeah, and I actually did fix the trainer text. Well, that's good before I demoed it. Alright, so we got ourselves a Pat Rat. Of course, we can always check the docs, see what's going on here. So we beat these two guys. This is Trainer Lily, so it shows us all the different stuff it gets. So this guy's got a bunch of like Route 1 kind of normal types, but this Poochyena has, it's got Intimidate, which could be a problem. I hope it won't be a problem. We're gonna poke it with a branch though. Yeah, alright. Nice crit, thank you. Very cool. Alright. So here's the Pooch coming out with the Intim. I'm probably just gonna swap anyway. I think Ralts, yeah, we have a fairy move. So obviously fairy types in here. Yo, thanks for showing up to the stream, and yes, I hope my day is going well. I actually was sleeping last night, so I was a little bit like groggy today, but other than that, it's pretty good. Yeah, getting the Ralts here just totally destroys this Poochyena. It's nice. And you also notice, hard level caps, again, I'm not getting any EXP from these battles because I'm at the level cap. Ow! Okay, that thing has technicians. That does a lot of damage. You can also find an Alolan Geodude in the cave, which is pretty cool. Hopefully this thing will poison itself on my poison point. That'd be nice. Alright, poison sting. Dude, this thing hurts! Okay, it did like literally nothing. What the heck? Scatterbug. I literally only have tackle on this thing. That does 9 damage. I'm dead to a crit. That's wild. Okay, one more hit. I think Zigzagoon's got this. 7 damage. Okay, tackle needs to kill. Please. Okay, so you'll notice, like, the game is not easy, but it's not like you're dying to the first trainer, you know what I'm saying? Also, a good thing I'm going to be doing is putting convenience chances around the map so that you're not totally, yeah, oh yeah, you can also run through that still, oops. So you're not like running around trying to find a Pokemon Center. There's going to be a lot of convenience, like healing places. And of course you can always just stash your Mons in the box, so. Let's actually change up our lead to Scatterbug, because he's got Stun Spore. Alright, so here's some cool stuff that is similar to Run and Bun. I'll actually show you in a second after this cutscene. So Iris says, hey again, looks like you beat the first route trainer. Why is there a plane in the town? I'll explain that in just a second. So someone asks, can't earn EXP. You can earn EXP, but there's hard level caps, so if you're already at the level cap, you can't go past the level cap. So if we're at level 5, and the cap is 5, we can't earn EXP. So anyway, so Iris says, this is pretty important, so let me explain how these areas work. Every route, there are different kinds of trainers. So when you just battled was a normal type of trainer, with regular Pokemon, there's also tougher ones who will reward you with good items. They're called route bosses, and sometimes they'll chill by themselves, sometimes they'll be mandatory, so they'll challenge you no matter what. And lastly, there are mirror trainers. No matter what party you bring, you have to fight them with their team, which is pretty crazy. So, mirror trainers have not been implemented yet. Not yet, but they will be soon. The level cap is going to be for both versions. It helps balance the game. Anyway, this is the root boss right here. He says, "You want to fight me seriously?" You can say no. So that's what I thought. Alright, so I'm gonna not challenge him yet because I still want to grab my fishing rod. So this guy gives you just the old rod. And yes, EVs are in fact removed. Yes. I think there's an Aracuda in here that doesn't have a sprite, so I'm not going to fish in there yet. Also, I already got my encounter for this route. And this last right here is going to tell us something else that's pretty important. Sometimes items will yield you a random number of berries. This package next to me is an example of this. It holds between 1 to 5 orange berries, so let's see how many we get. So it doesn't tell us right here, but we can check in our bag. There's no Z-moves, but there are megas, yes. And we got 6 orange berries. So that means we got 4 from this, because Steven gives you 2 in the beginning. So I got lucky and I got 4. So orange berries are actually pretty strong in the beginning because of how little health my team has, so like... Yeah, it literally restores half your HP, which is actually going to be pretty nice. And we have some more dynamic camera here, which is pretty neat. My eyes just disappear, what the heck? Alright. And there's another over here. So it's the same deal, Pecha berries. And we can actually check, it's between 1 and 5, we got 4. So, we got lucky, got a good amount of both. I think Run and Bun does something pretty similar to that. This guy is the mirror trainer, but mirror battles haven't been implemented quite yet. This guy also gives us the TM Flash, and he also alludes to the fact that TMs are reusable now. And I don't know if anyone we have right now can learn it. Find out. So, we can teach it to Ralts. So, we need to cheese this root boss. We might be able to do that. Now let me just save in case I break something. So this is the first route that has trainers in it. The next couple of routes of the game haven't had trainers yet. We got a bug catcher. You'll notice that Pokemon that are next to a trainer signify a double battle. So I haven't tested this battle yet. I might wipe here. But we got ourselves a Pineco and a Combee. Let's check what this guy has, because I forget. Yeah, we got Electro Web, Struggle Bug, and Gust and String Shot. So he's probably gonna click Gust here. That'd be kind of bad. I'm gonna Stun Spore the Combee. Tackle it. Oh, get red. Alright, this is gonna hurt. Ow. Oh yeah, I think I also need to change it to be a spread move. Why does it have speed boost? Uh-oh. Alright, that's a mistake. Oh, I know why that is. Oopsie. Well, this Combee's gonna outspeed us. That's alright. See, this is why we test these games, because all sorts of stuff can happen. Alright, we'll take that, no problem. Drop on our special attack. Let's try to get rid of this Combee. Yeah, this Pineco is spamming Protect. I might want to take Protect off of the moveset. Alright, this thing should be kind of free. It's the last thing on the field. Yeah, it's just spamming Protect. It's pretty bulky though. And it's got leftovers. Alright, so we're just gonna speed up through this. I think there's gonna be a lot of just spamming hits on it. It's probably gonna Protect again. Nope, didn't. Oh, nice, got the poison. Alright, so that's another battle done. Of course, we're going to be iteratively testing these and making sure that they're all good. Okay, so the last thing that I want to do for like scripting-wise, or demoing the scripting stuff, is going to be, first I want to heal. And I want to show you the root boss. So the root boss gives you a berry juice, which is basically a full restore at this point in the game, since everything has about 20 health, which is pretty cool. And you are going to want to have it for the first gym, which is Gardenia. So let's just give it a shot. Let me show you what this guy's got. This is Mr. Jack. I got destroyed by this guy the first time I played through it. I didn't have any items in my inventory. So this guy's got a Drowsy, which is really bulky. This Fake Out Pursuit Super Fang Krogunk, and this gnarly Bunnelby with Endeavor. Also has an Oranberry. So, let's try that. Yeah, there'll be mints to change your nature. Yep, for competitive mode or the elite mode, you probably have to earn them. For casual mode, they'll definitely be readily available. So you will get that. Alright, let's give these things some items. So... I think we're gonna want Ralts to have one for sure. I'll only give 2 for now. I think we also want Zigzagoon. I think the others are gonna kind of just get bodied. Alright, let's try this one out. There's Roughneck Jack. And he also has a randomized lead. I totally forgot to tell you that. That's another thing you can do. So you notice he's supposed to lead Drowsy. He did not lead Drowsy. It's random every time you try it. Alright, that did a lot of damage. Oh, and I have a shield dust on this. Yeah, so he can't. It's basically Covert Cloak, so Fake Out totally got blocked. I still missed anyway. That's so sad. He misses big. Let's see how much Scatterbug can actually do to this thing before I get bodied by Super Fang. This thing also, oh, and Poison Touch, great. I'm gonna swap. I'm gonna play this like a Nuzlocke in the sense where I'm just gonna, oh, I'm dead. That's tough. Yes, this thing's brutal, right? It's got Pursuit and everything. I'm gonna play this as if I were trying to like keep everything alive, because that's kind of the intended audience. Obviously, not everyone wants to play Elite Mode, but just for the sake of testing, that's what we're doing. Dude, Super Fang hurts! That stun spore actually came in clutch, though. Alright. So, Drowsy, this thing's got Psywave, Nightshade, and Poison Gas. We don't have to worry about it's super effective or anything. But Poison, it's probably gonna click Psywave here. Or no, actually knows it's not super effective, that's cool. Nice. Poison, love to see it. Let's actually swap to Zigzagoon. Cool, so it has to Psywave me now. Tackle. Okay, so I get poisoned here. It's probably fine. I think it actually would be scary if he Nightshade or Psywaves me. Yeah, it does a little more damage. Alright. So now he's down to his last. That's the Bunnelby, and this thing is kind of crazy if it comes out earlier. Oh yeah, also it's shiny, which is very cool. So this thing has Quick Attack, Seismic Toss, Super Fang, and Endeavor. So if I growl this thing, I'm only weakening Quick Attack. It's probably gonna use Super Fang or Seismic Toss on me. So I'm just gonna tackle. And he randomly endeavors. Big crit, nice. Heal, love it. Yeah, I had this thing destroy my Geodude by clicking Endeavor at low HP and then quick attacking it. It was gnarly. It's almost like the Fear strategy. Alright, so I'm gonna probably swap out here. Let's go to Grookey. I'll keep Ralts in the back. I think Ralts can probably do a good job here. Alright, poke it with the branch. Ow. Poke it again. Alright, it's gonna quick attack me now, probably. So, time to go to Ralts. It's like, this is a tough battle, but it's not, like, undoable. Disarming Voice can't miss, which is nice. Alright, get disarmed. Nice. So anyway, he says, fine, this is yours. Gives us the berry juice. And I think you can rematch him. I'll probably disable that feature later, though. Alright, so that is the end of like the stuff that I've done so far in terms of scripting. Some of the mapping I have up here. This is the rough map. I have a bunch of maps in other files, so that's why a lot of the stuff seems to be missing. We also fall forward over here. We have White Forest, which is imported separately, and then we have Penumbra Grove. So I'm just gonna like show you a quick run through of all those. Anyway, as we move on, we'll have some cool mystery dungeon music in the next area. This is Craggy Coast. This part is still in construction. This part up north is what I'm going to be working on later today. And this is called Fall Forward. These NPCs don't do anything yet, but it's kind of cool. A little bit of sideways camera angles, always nice. I think the encounters here are correct. I think they're the right level. Yeah, so you can find a weasel here. Oh, I didn't heal. That's not good. Oh, you'll also notice that we don't take any overworld damage from poison, which is super nice. Let's just repel for now. Oh, yeah, and we also have this camera here, which is super nice. So you can go fishing here. Let's go fishing. Wait. Oh, that's right. I think if you're right under the bridge, it won't work. Let's go right here and fish. Yeah, I'm gonna change the camera angle just a little bit so you can see easier. Still found a Pokemon in the water. Yeah, the camera angle needs a little bit of work still. Found a Barboach, which is pretty cool. So... Oh yeah, I guess some of the other stuff is not here yet. But you can find a bunch of other cool water types there. Okay, so I believe this next area might be not great because I think there is a problem with the levels in here. And I think they're like too high or something. I'm not sure actually. I just remember that I got like someone who's playtesting got annihilated by like a level 40 Chingling because like I forgot to change it from vanilla. But anyway, this is Starlight Cavern. I'm just gonna sit here for a second. Got the music. Got the twinkles. It's one of my favorite areas I've done so far. Different floors. I believe there's like a little 40 Pokemon on that floor, so I'm not going to stick around too long. Hopefully it won't be this floor either. Oh yeah, it's level 44. That's fantastic. Alright, the only way out of this is catching it. So we're going to chuck some Great Balls. But it is supposed to be a solo system. That was just wrong. Ow. There's no chance I run from this, right? Already have all Gen 5 to 6 Pokemon from Victini to Volcania implemented? Yeah, so all Gen 5 through 6 Pokemon are implemented, and have sprites, and then a good number of them from 7 through 9 also are implemented. As you can see, I have a Grookey, so like Grookey's in the game. He's Gen 8, so. The sprite project is actually going quite well, making good progress. Dude! Stop it! I'm gonna wipe. Well, I guess we'll see what happens when we wipe. That was also an edge case that I had to do a lot of testing for. Alright, we're dead. Alright, we wiped. So Dad says, Sauce, back so soon? Ah, looks like you wiped. Take a nap, loser. Yeah, your dad's not a very nice person. Yeah, let me grab a walkthrough walls cheat so I can show you the areas I have, because they're actually pretty cool. One moment. So, cheats. Alright, walk through walls is activated. Big trail to walk. Yeah, alright. So I'm going to just show you all the last bit of mapping that we've done. Second. Oh, internet crash? No, you didn't miss much. I just wiped to a random wild solo assist that was 40 levels too high. Alright, so let me just do a little bit of speed up. It's back to where we were. Alright, so this is Ball Ford. It's gonna be a lot of trainers and stuff here. Same deal, same deal. And here we are in White Forest, which is a exact replica port from Gen 5. And it even has the music, which I did sort of myself. Obviously, this area hasn't been scripted yet, which is why this NPC is missing everything. The airplanes are for transportation between towns, but it hasn't been implemented yet. So... I'm also a big fan of the music in White Forest. It's very nice. And the first gym is going to be, you guessed it, in White Tree Hollow. Don't worry about that glitched stuff right there. This also still needs its music, of course. So you'll also notice White Tree Hollow has animated textures, which is pretty cool. And this is where we're gonna have our first boss fight, like our first... Ooh. Am I able to get out of here? Oh my gosh, I soft locked myself again. Alright, well anyway, that's like basically the area we've gotten to. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff still in development. And so the idea today is to build this area here behind the plasmas. Yeah, that's the idea. So that was just a quick overview of what we've done so far. I think actually someone is working on an X and Y Kalos demake. Gotta change the camera when you exit the ravine. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Alright, anyway. I have not totally decided on how I want to structure this area, so we're gonna be kind of figuring that out together. When it unzooms, you can see the black map. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'll take a look at the camera stuff again. Alright. You got Chick-fil-A? Without me? Oh, okay. Yes, please. Thank you. Excellent. Okay, so mapping. This is just a little placeholder map for now. The question is, what do we want to do with this area? I am considering different ways of going about it. I think I want to do some mountainous region sort of tiles. So I think something like this. Do I have a regular one of these that's not raised? That's the question. Okay, so you are about to all hear my blathering for the next couple of hours or minutes or however long I'm working on this. Is this? Yeah, this is the one we want. So mapping is a lot less placing tiles and a lot more deciding what looks good. Just the nature of it. Am I also testing this on real hardware occasionally? Yes. So I am testing it on Melon, which is hardware accurate, and there are some HD engine problems right now, which makes Melon crash at certain intervals. So right now it's just been on Desmumi, but I'm going to make sure it's hardware compatible before release. Absolutely. So I think what we want is something. Also, this is the map, the region map, and as you can see, all the grass is placeholder, and the reds are towns, the green is routes, and the rounds are all dungeons of some sort. All right, let's see what we can do with this. So, actually want to get rid of this little bump here, and I think I also want to get rid of this, getting rid of some of the placeholders now. Okay. So the idea for this part of the map is going to be a place called Mount Colden, which is based off of a real life area in the Adirondack National Park, or a state park in New York. So the map border is going to be right here. So one thing we can do is make this part dirt like this, and it won't be really noticeable, because what's going to happen, well, actually it will be noticeable. You could. I don't know if there's a Gen 5 decomp by Pret. I'm actually not sure. I know that HG Engine is based on like some Poke Heart Gold stuff, but I actually don't know beyond that, to tell you the truth. Alright, so as we saw in the game, the camera is sort of like this, so you can see all of this area. So we kind of want that to be anything here. We don't want to have any weird seams. So the weird part of this is going to be getting a transition from grass to dirt. So one thing we can do, let's actually make a new smart draw tool. Let's see, which one do we want? I have a massive tile set here. So finding the right tile can sometimes be a challenge. This is the one we want. Yeah, this is the guy we want right here. So it's like this. So setting up your smart drawing is always super nice, because then I don't have to keep placing tiles manually later. It's very nice. This guy. Corners here. There's transition tiles in vanilla. No, it's okay. I have the ones that I want to use. I have a way of doing this. You can actually use one of these staircases to help me out too. Okay, and then we're gonna want the dirt tile in the middle. Let's put this down at the bottom. Okay. So this is the next area. Let's get an idea of the shape we want, because we want to have like a stepping stone that goes upward. Okay, so let's do one of these, I think. A lot of my mapping is just me mumbling. So what you want to do with these is, let's look at the heights right first, because these are that, and these are going to need to be at height 6. Really want to get a feel for foothills of Mount Colden. So let's see. So if I walk through here, I can see that it doesn't look too awkward. That's fine. Okay, so I'll fill in the edges later. We're just going to try and get a rough draft of this done today. I'm not trying for anything too crazy. I actually wonder if this darker might be better here. Yeah, I kind of like how that looks a little bit better than the bright white one. It's a little more muted. Yeah, so it's pretty nice. Okay. Why is that corner not matching up? What is that? Okay. Interior corners are not being happy, so we have a way around that. Let's actually instead do this, and then do this. There we go. Perfect. Now it's not clipping anymore. That was going to really annoy me. Okay. So you're going to want to make this area, I think, into 2 sections. And the idea of this place is it's going to have a bunch of steps up and then the really steep part of the mountain. If you ever hike Mount Colden, it is like 6 miles of just walking like sort of up 10-degree incline, and then it's like straight up. So it's going to sort of reflect that. I will use more grassy stuff for this. Actually, also another thing we want to do before I do anything else is probably pull this guy over to the side and pull this guy over to the side. So getting that transition from one to another. And let's get the heights correct. One of these. So I always like to have like 8-ish tiles of padding on these so you don't see into the void. Boom. Okay. So let's bring the heights over. And this would actually be 5. 5, those should be 10. Nice. And let's then also make that 10. Okay. Looks good for now. As long as you can't see it head on, it's usually fine. Okay. And then this guy over here. So a lot of mapping is just making sure your boundaries look good so that you can really focus in on stuff that matters, which is in the center of the map. And I need to give myself more area. So this is going to open up sort of like this. All right. Heights. Another strategy you can do in maps that need a lot of verticality is starting at a negative height and then working your way up. But that's not what I'm doing here, so I don't have too much verticality. I'm probably going to have a map transition here of some sort. I'm going to have to do some mapping magic to get it to work the way I want it to. Let's also pull this guy out here. So we want this transition from grass to dirt and then from dirt to rocks eventually. That's the idea. Okay. Obviously this is just a first draft, so some stuff might not look as good as I want it to in the beginning, but I'm always willing to go back and fix stuff. Okay. So one nice thing we can do here is we can take the opportunity, like as the player walks up here, to like shift the camera angle like this, and then we can use this area right here to transition to dirt. So on a different layer, let me actually check the heights here. Yeah, we're gonna want copy and paste the heights. And let's make ourselves some grass over here. So we want to fill in this part. So you always, oh, hello, I should not have done that. Let's do this on this layer. All right, paste heights. Yeah, the camera is gonna be absolutely necessary in a map like this because there's so much stuff that would block your view. Um, Honestly, a lot of times I end up using camera out of necessity, not because it's like supposed to be fancy. All right, so the edge of that is done. That actually kind of flows pretty nicely. I don't mind that at all. Another thing we can do here is actually just bring the dirt out another layer like this. Um, yeah, I actually like that because then we can merge it into the cliff side. That'd be nice. So we want to do in a different layer. Let's go over here. Just do this. So now it looks like it like kind of merges into the cliff a little bit more smoothly. All right, bring it up. Hello. Wrong layer. There we go. Yeah, BDH cam is like honestly one of the greatest things ever. What did I do? This is supposed to be. Wait, this should be 6. Okay, there we go. Now it's right up to the edge there. That's what we want. And I'll fix this stuff in a second. Great. And then hiding stuff in a map is one of the most important things you can do. If you don't want your edges to show, just put them in a corner where no one can see them. Usually works. And that corner is going to be missing, so let's do this, and then we'll put that thing on a different tile. Great. So as long as the camera can't see it, it doesn't really matter too much. All right, well, let's get this interior part here all set. Zoom in. Nope, wrong layer. This layer. There we go. Nice, that merges pretty nicely, actually. You probably won't be able to see that color change too much. I might want to consider a different colored tile there, but I will. I'll see in a second. Great. All right, so now that looks actually pretty decent. I think the next step to this is going to be selecting how high I want stuff to get. So right now we're at layer 5/6. I think I will let us go up a total of 5 before I actually start the mountain. So one thing we can do, I have a really good idea for what I want to do with the mountain, and it's going to use a lot of really cool BDH cam stuff that's like head-on cameras, but I'm not totally sure how I want to lead up to it yet. Let's take a look through our tiles and see if anything strikes our fancy. Because the brown is cool, but I also definitely want to use these snowy tiles for partway up the mountain. So let me actually put those off to the side. So like we want some of these. I think we're also gonna want rock climb, so let's put some of the rock climb tiles here, just to remind myself what I want to do. Decisions. It's a lot of. I think there's some gray tiles from Gen 4 that are from. Yeah, here they are. It's these ones. I think these gray rocky ones might be kind of cool for. This one looks a little bit weird because of the way it's set up, but I think something like this that I have in the corner right here could be really cool for like the higher parts of the mountain. I could put like a snowy texture on it maybe. So just leave a sample of that there. Um, okay, this is all the Gen 3 tiles from Active Henry that I did for that Sapphire Stream map. These are all icy tiles. Yeah, we probably want some snowy tiles. I'm going to leave this just to bookmark the area of the tile set. I have all these things from different charged stone cave tiles that I modified. Do have these. I don't know if this is going to be useful. This is more of like an interior kind of deal. I might use the twist mountain tiles for that. That could be cool. That could be cool. I really do think Colden should have some of these. These are like not great optimized. I'll leave them just for later though. And yeah. Okay, so now let's do the outline for this next part. Okay. Need to come up with an idea for this. Okay, so let's draw out some like contours of where we want this to be. And if this does not work very well for us, that's okay. So each of these are going to be like a step up. So we want a total of I think 5 of them. These are pretty decently spaced. Because this is going to be a town, this is going to be a mountain, and this is going to be like the lead up to it. Obviously, the mountain itself is going to be like pretty wide, and it's going to have its own interior and stuff, sort of like Mount Coronet. So, let's think of this. Okay. Yeah. And we'll just fill in these. Kenzie, if there's an easier way to do this, let me know. But this is usually the way I like to approach it. Oh, hold on, I'm doing this backward. This needs to be the other way around. Yeah, needs to be like that. I love the fill tool. Makes my life so much easier. Alright, heights. So this is 6. I want this to also be... Wait. Oh yeah, this one's gonna have to be flipped like this. I think I'm gonna have this come into the wall. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot better. So, boom, like that. Yep. Okay, I'm feeling pretty decent about the way this is looking already. It's not terrible. What's really gonna make it or break it is gonna be how it looks on the sides, and like if I have anything in the background that kind of ties in with the surroundings. Okay, there's that. All right, 7. If this is your first time watching mapping, and your question is it always this messy? Yes, mapping is usually this messy. All right, so that needs to be 1 tile higher, actually. This needs to be also 7. I've been doing this for a year and a half, 2 years now, so yikes. Right. Yeah, doing heights on mountains is usually the worst thing because there's just so many to keep track of. So obviously this stuff is gonna come out over here, I think. We're gonna have like terraced sort of vibes going on. Let's see how that goes, though. All right, these ones are going to need to be at height 8. All right, so that's sort of coming together. I think what I want to do is get the outline in this texture pack, and then if I want to retexture it later, I'll do that separately. It's probably better that way. Are these still messed up? Yeah, they don't quite match up. I don't know if you'll be able to actually see that in game. Yeah, you're definitely going to be able to. Alright, so that tiling is really messed up. Well, I'll probably be replacing this with a different tile later, so it's fine. Just want a rough outline for this point. Okay. Like so. And heights. Heights. Okay. I think I do want to use the gray tiling for this. I think that'd be kind of neat. Okay, heights time. These are all at 9. Alright, get a little faster with this. Oh yeah, those ones need to be 9. Okay. We're getting a little faster at this. And yeah. So I might change things around still, because this is pretty bland, and I don't like when my maps look bland. It's kind of the worst. I think the idea is there. Kind of want a winding mountain road. Yeah. These should all be 10 height. And last one. Uh, Great. And this will be up to height 11. Okay. So I'm thinking something sort of like this. And I'm gonna probably bring this out more to the side. Let's actually do this. So I can just delete this. So something I'm considering doing is having it do some switchbacks, but I think that's a little boring. Switchbacks are not fun when you hike a mountain. So you have something like that. Like that, like that, like that, like that, like kind of switchbacky. But I'm not so sure that's going to be fun and interactive, so I'm not going to do that for now. I think something that would look Nice. Oh, it's all right, Kenzie. Yeah, take your time. It's okay. I'm probably gonna redo this eventually anyway. Right. So I think there are also some 2 and 3 height tiles from the tile set you sent me before. Yeah, these ones. Yeah, this is definitely something I'm going to use right here. So this is going to be super nice. You'll also notice that the coloring is different. Is it the same as this? Yes, it is. Okay, so I will probably use that coloring instead. Um, okay, so I have a bunch of ideas that I really want to get done, but I will also have to do a lot of tile modification before I get them done. So I'm actually gonna I'm actually going to pause just for a second. And I'm probably gonna pick up the stream later because I really need to eat dinner, and I do have some obligations tonight to go to. Yeah, yeah, those definitely need to be edited in Blender. They're not optimized at all. Uh, anyway, I'm gonna call the stream for now. I definitely want to do this like another time, like this weekend, like Saturday or Sunday, and get more of this done. Hopefully, have some more tiles ready for it and have more of something planned out. But I hope you guys enjoyed the little Iridium docs and walkthrough that we did. So, yeah. So, I guess if you guys don't have any other questions, I'll call it there. I really appreciate you guys sticking around and hanging with the stream. Super nice to do this not by myself. Also, big shout out to everyone else who's been helping. I've got a solid team of like 10 people helping me with things like assets and coding. And hopefully this will be a fun game for people to play once it's ready. So, it's been it for me. I will see you guys in the next stream.